strength that God has given, with shield of faith and belt of truth, we'll stand against the devil's lies. An army bold, battle cry is love, reaching out to those in darkness. Our call to war, to love the captive soul, but to rage against the captor, and with the sword that makes the wounded whole, we will fight with faith and valor. When faced with trials on every side, we know the outcome is secure, and Christ will have the price for which he died, an inheritance of nations. Come see the cross, love and mercy meet, as the Son of God is stricken. Then see his woes lie crushed beneath his feet, for the conqueror has risen. And as the stone is rolled away, and Christ emerges from the grave, his victory march continues till the day every eye and heart shall see him. Send Spirit come, put strength in every stride, give grace for every hurdle, that we may run with faith to win the prize of a servant good and faithful. As saints of old still line the way, retelling triumphs of his grace, we hear their calls and hunger for the day when with Christ we stand in glory. Well, as we're all aware, we had a group go out, head to Joy Ranch in Virginia on a mission trip, and so they're going to come and share with their experiences that they had this week. Tim led the charge. He's been taking care of our mission trips for the last 40, 50, 60, 100 years. So he said this one was unique. So anyway, Tim.
All right, just a brief introduction, and then we have a video, and then all of us are going to come up and give our testimonies, and hopefully it will be a blessing to you. I don't know how much everyone has prepared, so get comfortable. We might be here a while, but it was a blessing. We went to Joy Ranch in Woodlawn, Virginia, which was in the southwest corner of Virginia. In fact, we went sightseeing one day to North Carolina, so we were just right there on the border. But it's a home for troubled youth, and you'll see a lot of the things that we saw there. They had about 9 kids right now. It varies, and it was really a blessing. I'll say a little bit more during my testimony time, but we'll start with the video. So.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's an honor to have a real swinging cat with us tonight.
You're scared to take a step, afraid to see what's next. So you wait till you think it's safe to move. You tend to think too much. You need to open up your heart to see where he is leading with the lamb. Just for your feet, a spotlight just for your path. When he moves, you got to move, you know you got to lose control, let go, there's nothing left to hold on to. This life you live is really not your own, so where he goes, you go, you know, he leads and you follow. He moves, you move, he moves, you move, he the past and don't worry about the future. Cause he's the author of your story, so let him take you on the journey of your life. Oh, it starts tonight. When he moves, you got to move. You know you got to lose control. Let go, there's nothing left to hold on to. This life you live is really not your own. So where he goes, you go, you know. He leads and you follow. He moves, you move. He moves, you move. He moves, you move. When he moves, so if I move to the right, or I move to the left, move up north, move down south, the east or the west. No matter how far I go, or if I stay right here, if I'm in the middle of your will, there's nothing left to fear. He moves, you move. He moves, you move. He moves, you move. When he moves, you move. When he moves, you got to move. You know you got to lose control. Let go. There's nothing left to hold on to. This life you live is really not your own. So where he goes, you go. You know he leads and you follow. He moves, you move. He moves, you move. He moves, you move. When he moves, you move. He moves, you move. He moves, you move. He moves, you move. When he moves, you move.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's an honor to have a real swinging cat with us tonight.
Okay, so, my name is Justice, and I'm 13, and this was my first missions trip, and it was kind of different being in Virginia with all like the mountains and hills and great scenery. And my favorite part was either the food or the people. And this one kid, I would tell him to calm down, and he would shake his head, and I would like throw my hat on the ground. And we just had really fun together, and I really liked all the kids there. So it was a fun time, and thank you for giving all your money. Not all of it, but to giving some of your money to help us go to this business trip and help them with their roof. So thank you.
So as Justice said, thank you guys for all your prayers and support, and it was very interesting. This was also my first mission trip, and it was very hard work, but also a lot of fun. And as you can see from the roof, it turned out pretty good, and we played the picture in the field with all the everybody there. It's kind of dark. That was the softball game that we had. We played 3 games, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And Friday was the winner takes all, because we had each won. And my team, along with Dad, Robbie, and Justice, took the cake. Oh, and Rika. Sorry, Rika. My bad. And we had a lot of fun with the kids, and it was a great experience.
So I don't like speeches or mics, so this is going to be great. Pretty sure you all know me, but anyway, my name's Bailey, and I'm 17. This is my second missions trip. I was happy to be on one because it's been a long time since I've been on one. I think I was 13 when I went on my last one, and that was in Honduras. So now I'm 17, so it's been 4 years since the other one was canceled, so. I'm homeschooled. I didn't know what you said at first. So, like everyone else said, thank you for your prayer and your support. We wouldn't have gotten there without you guys, and it was put to good use. It was an amazing place. Like, if I was in all of those kids' positions, that is where I would want to go, because it was just so incredible. And it just like filled my heart being there and seeing those kids so happy, and I can't even describe it. Watching the video, I was like this close to crying because my kiddos, I hardly ever got to see them or hang out with them, but when I did, it was just amazing. And me and Rika were in the kitchen cooking food, and then after we'd do that, after getting up at 6 a.m., we'd work the entire day, then go play softball or kickball or something, and then go to bed at like midnight, and then do it all over again. But just every time I'd see those kids, I would just think, this is what it's about. Like, it's not for us to go there and crack up with each other and have a good time. It's for the kids, and it was amazing that we got it all done, and it was really a blessing, and I'm happy we were able to go. Thank you.
Well, I had a lot of fun, especially with Robbie there. The first mission trip, we were roommates, lived in a barn. No one else knew that. And then this one was a lot of fun with Robbie also. We had a lot of fun. Apparently, now I'm going to hold his hand whenever he dies. So I'm going to be at his deathbed, so fun fact. Yep. I had a lot of fun, especially on the roof. I love like demolition and tearing off, and I got to do that a lot, so. That was a lot of fun. The food was really good. Rika and Bailey did an awesome job. The Mexican got my new nickname. I don't know if I lived up to it, Robbie. I'm sorry. I was more of a third-string quarterback, but. And what struck me the most was probably the fact that like I'm more of a proud person. And I think that I am who I am because of me. But like looking at like those kids and the families that they had, or rather the lack of them, I'm just so thankful for the family that I have and the parents and God that made me who I am. So.
Ezra did not live up to his name at all. He had so much leftovers. We went to Mexican before we even got to the place, and he was like, there's a picture of him. He has like 3 trays worth of food all stuffed in one tray, and he didn't even touch it the whole week. It just went in the trash along with all the other leftovers that he created. They went to the chickens. So first, just thank you guys for your prayers along the way for travel and then safety on the roof. And then the place itself was amazing. I didn't expect it to be like, it was basically like somewhere you'd take like a vacation at. Like, it was amazing how they had it set up. The cottages were huge. They weren't small at all. Each kid had their own room. And the place we stayed at had a game room and plenty of space. Honduras was a really good trip, but compared to where we stayed at in Honduras, it was definitely a little bit better. So once we got out there Monday morning, they were like, hey guys, we have like sunscreen and stuff, for when it gets hot out there. And it wasn't even that hot. It was bearable. So I just was up there, and by about like 6 o'clock, I was like bad. Like, it was terrible. I hadn't been burnt that bad in years, probably. So
I even had like a couple blisters on my neck, and it was just so bad. But there was one guy. There was one guy. He felt so bad that I got burnt on Monday. He called me down and said, "I got a gift for you," and he got me one of those like long sleeve like fishing shirts, so I wouldn't be exposed to the sun or anything. And I must have looked pretty bad if someone went out and got a shirt for me. But working on the roof was a lot of fun, and my back was hurting like crazy. But me and Judah were running, we were putting all the shingles on, and Tim was talking about how big the roof was, and then he did all the math, and me and Judah put like over 2,000 shingles on. So I just thought it was a blessing to be able to work and get all that done by Friday, because it was crunch time from Monday to Friday evening. And then lastly, playing with the kids we didn't get a lot of time to hang out with them because we were working so much on the roof. But when we did, it was fun to interact with them because they hadn't like been around a lot of people since COVID. So they were kind of shy, like a lot shy. But after Monday night, they kind of like got a little bit friendlier, and they were just fun to hang out with. And softball was kind of bad. We lost bad twice. All 3 games were by 1 point. So Judah says that like they took it, but we should have had all 3 of those games really. So, but it was just fun interacting with the kids, and I was blessed for the opportunity to get to go, and am excited for the next one. So thank you guys for your prayers again, and that's all.
All right, if you don't know me, I'm Robbie and I'm 19. Just a little older than Connor. First off, I just want to thank you guys. This was supposed to happen 2 years ago, so it's been in God's plan for us to be there. I guess it had been 4 years or so. So I thank you guys for the support. And I thank you for the prayers. I thank you for the vision that you put before us, because there's just no way that task could have been done with 8 people that we had without prayers. I mean, there's just no way. That is a monstrous roof that we had tackled. And we started out on Monday. We had no air guns or nailers. We had an air compressor. We didn't know what they would have, so we had hammers and we had nails. And we were tearing off one small section, and very impressive if we were leaving tomorrow. But we were there all week, and that thing was large, and we were, I'm not going to say discouraged, but Satan was definitely working on us to, you can't accomplish this. There's no way. Because Tuesday was supposed to rain, so we're thinking, if you hang out with Ezra much, the dude just wants to rip everything up. He just wants to tear everything, and you can't do that. When you expose the roof, you expose the whole house. Yeah, we were going to have it all tore off in the dumpster, everything, by noon. We had like one section done by noon. But I without Ezra, I'm just so encouraged by his willingness to just keep going. I mean, because I'm not Ezra anymore at all. And so I was thankful for the young kids that killed their back. They just never quit. If it was up to me, we probably would have quit. So I'm just thankful for their inspiration, their will. But I think it came around Tuesday or Monday, actually, when we was driving. They put shingles in a bed of a truck, and me and Justice took it to their little small dumpster that we were going to put 3,000 square foot of shingles in this little dumpster. me and Justice were throwing them in, and it looked like the shingles never stopped. We just kept throwing them and kept throwing them, and we never got anywhere. And I looked at him, I was like, we can't do this all week. We're just not getting anywhere. It's like we're picking up the same stuff over and over. So another thank you to you guys, because we went out and we bought a dumpster, well, rented a dumpster to put it right by the house, and everything we threw in was right there and accessible to be able to accomplish this. So it was just another step of what God had in store to be able to make this possible. And then I took a tour of, they have, I don't know if you've seen the shop. That was an elderly lady that had never, as far as I know, I don't know, quote me for sure, but she had never been to Joy Ranch. She had never associated with them as far as communication, but she'd always donate $25 a month or whatever. And she passed away. The family of her came and told the ministry that she had placed Joy Ranch in their will, and it was a large amount of money. And so they were able to build a shop. It's a wood shop, a mechanic shop. I mean, just everything that place needs. And so that was just fantastic to be able to go and just hang out with the men that worked there and just talk with them. But I was sitting there talking to the guy that does the electrical and everything there, and there was a framing nailer gun. And I said, well, I wish this would work on a roof. He was like, you don't have a nail gun? You guys are doing a roof without a nail gun? And so I got talking to him, and he was like, I'm going to Harbor Freight. I'm telling the leader, which is Dan Austin, pray for that man, because he's got a handful of duties. But so he brought back the nail gun, and that started Call of Duty. Judah and Connor and Ezra, throw me another mag, I'm out, and we're protected. But I'm telling you, that is what got us through that. Their inspiration of this game that they fantasize over constantly. I mean, we were being attacked by all directions, so Connor had to have a mag, and it jammed, we were getting attacked, and I mean, it was just all week. But I'm so thankful for that. I'm so thankful for their youth and because me and Tim needed it, very much so. I wish there was escalators to get up and down because the ladders got old. But anyway, it was just a great time. Mission trips are absolutely the hardest you'll ever work in your entire life. That was the hardest mission trip I've ever been on. This is my 4th or 5th. The difference between there and the most mission trips we go to, the natives will be right there with us. Well, they did volunteer a little bit, but they still had to conduct their business of the mission every day. So we would get Dan on the roof, we would get Peter on the roof. I mean, just guys that was there, but it was spread, just little hours here and there. So it was all on our shoulders. And all we seen was weather, rain on Tuesday, Saturday and Sunday, rain. So we either do this or we don't. And there's many times we was like, let's just do this section and that section, and we'll just leave it for them. But I'm just so thankful that God had the vision more than me, because this team came through. They absolutely made that roof look gorgeous. And if you get a chance to see the pictures, it's just a wonderful ending, other than you don't want to end. Any mission trip you ever go on, you never want to leave. You always want to be back. And I miss the kids. I miss the directors and the house parents. They have house parents for each one of these kids. I have a thing for kids, man. It's something that kids shouldn't be treated like that. And it is what it is. God is bigger than anything out there, and he's taking care of them. But anyway, Tim, I want to thank you for organizing it. The ins and outs. We'd have never got there. You have the vision. You have their calling, and I'm thank you for that. The 8 team members, I've kind of talked about you guys. We were the team. That's the team that God wanted there. It was hard, real hard, but we made it. We accomplished it, and we shined the light. There is no doubt in my mind. Those kids seen it. They opened up more to us. They seen structure. These kids have not had anything like that. There's a 7-year-old boy, he got there at year 1. He's never had a parent other than them. I mean, it's just unbelievable. But he just talks and 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 talks. Rika, does he talk? He talks. But it's just beautiful. I mean, why would he ever talk to anyone? Because nobody ever wanted him, you know, and so anyway. I want to thank Rika and Bailey. I didn't lose much weight. And I sweated like crazy, and we did not lose weight. So I'm very, very thankful for your vision, Rika, on the menu, Bailey, your ability to throw stuff together and build things, and I'm just thankful for that because we were treated like kings, and I thank you for that. Just want to, and on top of that, they did all that. They cleaned up after us, and then you've seen in the video, they're right there beside us on the roof. Not all the time, but I would take credit from the boys. But the girls, when they had a chance, they were there, and I'm thank you very much for that. I want to thank my wife, Laura, and Matt for holding down the fort when we were gone, because it's sacrifice. I mean, no matter what, when one's gone, somebody has to pick up the slack, and I thank you for doing that, guys, and appreciate it very much. And I was asked directly by the director of Joy Ranch, his name is Dan Austin, to thank you guys on behalf of his whole entire mission team, because he was definitely moved. He was definitely thankful. He's got a heck of a job. I mean, we just don't understand. We get up every day and everything's there for us. Everything's just easy for us. These kids have nothing. I mean, they have all they have, and the outside world's attacking them. The government is attacking them, wanting to put them there, and he's just constantly fighting that off and giving the gospel. He's told me he's been spit on, he's been stomped on, those kids reject God, and he just keeps preaching it, just keeps giving it to them and keeps giving it to them. And so those guys that have volunteered, those guys that have their paid staff, that have given up our freedom, basically, to do that for these kids, they need a lot of prayer and they need a lot of support. And so I would be wrong not to mention that. And last, again, the kids is why we went there. I know God put us there to help those leaderships, but the kids, they hardly talked. They hardly mentioned anything. They hardly looked at us the first couple of days. They have no background of trust. They have no will to live, to be honest. And for us to be able to be a part of that, guys, that's God's vision. And you ought to embrace that and realize that's all around Fayetteville. That's all around, the public schools, just whatever. God gave us rules every day to live for him, to glorify him. And we saw a small token of that with these kids, because these kids get told by these people, do this, do this, do this, do this, or else. I think we read that in the Bible every day. It's all through the scripture. What does God tell us every day to do? We can be just disobedient just as much as those kids can be. And so that is what I've brought back. The challenge is to challenge, to be obedient to God, to listen to him, to pray to him, to lift him up, to do the things that we're commanded to do. Don't just, on Sunday I'll do it, but I've got my own life the rest of the week. Let's continue to pray for the mission. They will definitely need it. I would love to go back. That's all they said all week. You guys are going to have to come back and just play all week. And I said, I'll ask the board if they'll let us just go back and play. And I really believe it would be a successful mission trip, because those kids need it. Those kids have got so much to do around that facility, to upgrade, to everything. But I'm so thankful again for the church sending us. Thank you, Tim, for organizing it. And I'm ready to go back in 2 years. And my 2 old ones are getting old, and they're about to, maybe fly out of the roost and go out of the chicken house and go get their own lives and things. And so I'm very thankful that they're there, they're here. They were with me. We sweated and we had tears together, and I'm just thankful that God has put us together. It's our second mission trip together. Connor, third, second. So just thankful for that. I challenge every one of you guys, if you have not been on a mission trip, I don't care if it's in Ohio, I don't care if you will never be blessed better than a mission trip. It's my honest truth experience. You will be blessed more than the field itself. And I just thank you guys. Thank you so much, and 2 years will be here soon. Thank you.
Hey, thank you, Robbie. It's supposed to be youngest to the what? Anyways, good evening. My name is, for those who doesn't know me, my name is Rika Edwards. Oh, yes. Normally, I was thinking I was going to start my testimony with a joke, but I totally forgot what I was going to say. So, no, getting there. But anyways, so, wait a minute, let me get my thoughts. So Matt asked me this afternoon, he goes, so are you ready with your speech? And I goes, oh, no, I didn't have the time to do that, so I'm just gonna wing it. So hang on to your seats, because I will be right here for a while. I'm gonna try to do a chronological order of what, had transpired based on my experience. So here it goes. To be honest, from all the mission trip I have done, military or the church, this is the most rewarding one. Not because I cook for everybody, which I don't really like to cook, right, honey? But we did it. Bailey and I will get up 6 in the morning, prepare the meal for the gentlemen, and 8, you'll be ready by 8 o'clock. Was I ever late? Yes. So anyways, so we're able to do that. And after the meal, we clean up. We're out there cleaning up after them. And I thank Ravi, the first day, we were able to go. It might not be on the presentation, but we were up there for like an hour or so, helping them out in between meal prep and cooking. So the first day I was there, and I know Ezra, where is he? Still up there? We always joke about me going on the very ledge of the roof, so I know I'm up there. Robbie says I'm 20 years old. Maybe during that time, I would have done it, getting to the edge, but I'm not at my age, I can no longer do that. But Robbie did say, what's the phrase you said? To live is for Christ, and to die is gain. Yes. So, nope. Good for that. So the next day, to be honest with you, the first day I was not able to go past, I think it's the number of the plywood, on the roof. I cannot go past the first one. There was a gentleman that was there, welcome us the night we got there. His name is Phil. Wonderful man. I mean, when we got our, our kitchen food stuff in the kitchen, and he was, let me know what you need. We needed to go to Walmart 10 o'clock in the evening to get our dairies and eggs and whatnot. Lend me his car. I mean, would you trust your car to a stranger? He did, so we're able to get our stuff. But the next day he said, don't force yourself to go past that if you're not comfortable. So I'm like, okay, I know. And there's Robbie with his phrase. I'm like, okay. The next day till Friday, I was able to get at least like 2 feet off that. I was able to go there, be able to help Ezra putting that, the first, what do you call it? The sheeting, the piece of plastic that you put, yes. So, but anyways, so with regards to the Joy Ranch, now I'll be serious now, right? So with regards to the Joy Ranch, every single day, when you go into the stairwell, I will tell you this verse. It says, Proverbs 14:26, in the fear of the Lord there is strong confidence, and his children will have refuge. You see that, it's stenciled on a wall when you go downstairs, so you see that every day. I read that every day, and this place is so wonderful. They have 9 kids. Now, can you name all those kids? Challenge there. So I'm gonna try. The girls are, help me out if I miss one. You have Lily, Julia, Cheyenne, okay, hold on. Ava, and who's the other girl? No, there's 4 girls. No, Abby is a daughter, right? Chloe. Sorry. Yeah, Chloe. And then the boys, you have Isaac, Isaiah, Alex, and John. Now what I'm going to talk about is John. He is the sister of, they have a sister in there. Ava is his sister. Now John, if you see on the picture, I put a picture of there and him, with me, hugging my hip when I was trying to clean up, and the lady that was taking care of him, her name is Lynn Pratt. She is the wife of Peter. Peter is the facilities man at Joy Ranch. So she came up to me, and this boy will just come up to me all of a sudden, just give me a hug. I'm like, oh, so, okay, give me a hug. Tim even goes, you should come down there, sometimes and be with him. I'm like, no, it's okay. But anyway, so with this little boy, though, he just got closer to me. I don't know. It's just the love that he needs. It seems like he needs that. That's what he needed, So I'm like, okay, give you a hug. So, but the next day, and then she told me after that he left. The lady told me, you know what he said to me? I'm like, what? Tomorrow is gonna be a sad day for him, for the boy. I'm like, why? Because you'll be leaving. I'm like, oh my God, what to do? So throughout the, and then he even mentioned to Bailey about his birthday coming up. May 27th is his birthday. And he was having this balloon, and he goes, I don't know what he said, something about, I hope my mom, when I go for my birthday, is gonna give me the balloon, right? Is that what he said? Something like that. And I'm like, oh my word. So I talked to the director, Dan Austin, and I mentioned to him, I said, this boy, he's really sweet. Is it okay to be able to send him a letter or, mail him a card? And so, oh yes, he's such a sweet little boy. And then he goes, oh no, he can be, but he's got anger issues. He's been there since he was 1 year old. And having an anger issue, it's just so hard to me to think that, that all the love, you should see this parent, the parents, the love, the care that they provide to these children. It's not even their children, but that's their job, and oh my word, I'm just going here. It's just so, again, no words can describe what they provide for them. How, the love that they give to be able, it's not even your own, and you're providing that to them. So, and then one day we had a cookout for everybody, that one Thursday, Bailey cooked all 38 burgers, and she did all that. So we probably this cookout for the folks, and they talked to me about, hey, we're hiring for a parent. I'm like, I'm not really interested. But anyway, so they talked to me. So I guess it's a job that they are, that they're looking for people to be a parent for these children. So that's one thing. And it's what they call, and then the boy again. So the first day we got the opportunity to play softball, as everybody mentioned. The first day I have to hit. I was using this, and I have not played softball for a long time, So this little boy, John, he goes, I think it was the last inning, and I have to do here, use my bat, he said, because I've been striking out for the first 2 that I was on the plate. So he goes, okay, here, use my bat, he said. So you might hit it this time. I'm like, okay. So I use his bat. And then I use his bat, and guess what? I hit the ball. So he was so happy about it, giving me fist bump. Okay? So second day that we were there, Thursday, he was not in the field. I don't know why, he wasn't there. We got the tour for the place on Thursday night. And I think he was in the home, but I did not see him. But on Friday, when we were, what do you call it? Softball team. He was in our team. It's supposed to be like the oldest folks versus, I don't know how they did the team, but we were the old folks team. So John was with us, and the boy, the whole time we were in the field, he just talked. I'm like, can you pay attention? We gotta, So, it's just like to me, it's just like he was wanting that, someone just, giving me a hug, and I felt so bad when they let him go. John, we need to go. I'm like in the middle of the game. And that's the last time I saw him. Did not see him the next day anymore. And they have Alex. He's the one that's very bookies. Monday night when we were playing kickball, and then after the kickball, they have to keep busy. So they have to keep busy, and this boy didn't want to play throw ball or throw softball. So what he did, he has to keep busy. So he has this book, walk around the whole thing the whole time with the book reading, And he's the one that saw us goodbye, gave me a hug again. I'm so glad for you guys to be here. Thank you. I said, we're glad to be here too, to be able to do this. So with regards to I just want to thank you all for your prayers and your support. Now, thank you, Tim, for putting this all together, and Robbie for being the leaders in there. And sometimes, even though I'm one of the adults there, sometimes I just needed hey, I need to get this done, and they're there to do it. And anyways, what else? This place, I wouldn't mind to go back there. Robbie talked about the shop. Their shop is like 120 by 70 foot wide shop. They got woodworking and automotive. I'm like, I'm there. I'm going next, even by myself. Can I go, honey? They have to be able to do cabinetry, and they have this wood, beautiful wood. It's popular, but it's like the black and white, and they're going to paint it black. Like, no, please don't do that. But that's what they're doing, and it's a good place, and it's a place for these children to learn trade. So if any time that you have the opportunity to go, it's such a blessing. Like when the ladies, like Lynn and I were talking, I said, it's just a blessing. It's a blessing for us to be here. They were wonderful. They're thanking us to be there, to be able to do the work, but yet to us, it's a blessing for them. And I hope that we had showed them, God's love the way we love for them. And the boys, man, their hard work. I was a Thursday, we're thinking we're not gonna be able to finish this job, but we did. They did, not me. They did, and by 2:30, we think the job will be done, and job well done. And their work ethics, I'm like, I'll hire you in heartbeat, if I have that job. But yet for me, on the other hand, the little thing that I was in there learning what Tim is teaching all these boys, I'm like, yay, I can put in my resume, roofing specialist. So I just want to thank you. I do appreciate you guys' support and prayers for the safety, and that's all. Sorry for taking long.
A lot of good stories have been told. I don't think I should have started out. Obviously you saw the roof when I contacted Joy Ranch about 3 years ago in preparation for going in 2020. It was a lady that was the director. I forget her name, but Dan Austin was there prior to 2020, and of course it fell through. So I contacted him about 4 months ago, maybe around Christmas, and said, hey, you remember us? We'd still like to come. Has COVID settled down enough? And it had. And so it was going to be, well, we've got a roof, we've got some decks maybe that we want to redo. And then Mike Weiss from Shepherd's Bethel gave us about a dozen bicycles still in the box, returns and stuff from Walmart that they had. And so that was my vision. Okay, we got this little roof, we got some decks, we got some bikes, and we'll play with the kids. It'll be my vision of the mission trip. And, I always tell the team, be flexible. And it was interesting, Pastor Ferry's message this morning was about the challenge that we face, that sometimes we don't even know we're going to face. But this was a challenge. If I had known how big this roof was, I would not have signed my team up for it. I wouldn't have signed myself up for it. It was about 4,000 square feet, best I can remember, about 2,400 shingles. It had a porch, so we had a couple of alleys, we had 2 chimneys, we had quite a bit of flashing, and I'd done a little bit of roofing, right? Built a tiny house and done some roofing, but I'm certainly not an expert. And they had somebody to lead us, but come to find out, he was learning as well. So there was some YouTubing and how to flash a valley. Okay, I got it. But I think it turned out well. But and we joke about how big the challenge was. But I'm serious. I would not have said we can do that roof. It was 6 discrete sections. We could have picked some of the 6 and said you get to finish the rest. But we didn't really think of it that way. It's like, here is the challenge in front of us. And I was so grateful for the team that God gave us. It wasn't the same team as 2020. We had at least 4 or 5 people that were going to go in 2020 that couldn't go now. Some of them were in college, some of them physically couldn't go. And, Monday was pretty hot, although we were in the mountains. I think it was probably in the 80s. Tuesday it was supposed to rain, and we just jumped in there. We started tearing off, and we realized we've torn off maybe a third of this house, and we got to get it under cover before we can go to bed tonight. And probably shouldn't have done that, but we got it under cover. And all week, I was so impressed with the attitude of the team, of these people in orange that you see around you. Nobody that I heard complained. Nobody said, I didn't sign up for this. I signed up for a normal missions trip. We go to Honduras, like Robbie mentioned. We're laughing, we're joking with the people that are there. We're going to church on a Sunday. Maybe we're handing out tracts. That was my vision of the mission trip, but it wasn't God's vision for this week. And none of them complained to me anyway. And so I was so happy to be there with them every day. I get up and do it all over again. Lay some more shingles, tear some more shingles off. And then they mentioned that we played kickball and softball with the team. Just a couple stories that I have to close with about Joy Ranch that were told to me. You probably can't read it, but if you go up, it says, where love gives life. And several people have mentioned about these kids, the homes they come from. People don't tell them no. People don't care about them to tell them no or to show them love. And they come to Joy Ranch at all ages. They can come there anywhere up to age 18. They can't come if they're older than 18, but if they're already there, when they turn 18, they can stay till they're 21. And, they get structure and discipline and love. And one thing, I have kids, many of you do as well, and kids don't always react well to discipline, right? The ideal response to discipline is, thank you, I was wrong, you were right, please forgive me, I'm sorry, whatever. And not that these kids were perfect, but when they would get, and they're not allowed to spank, no corporal punishment, and so they would take away privileges. Like the first night when we played kickball, some of them weren't there because they had done something wrong. And we went into the girls' house, and they had a list for each girl. Here's their punishment. And like for one girl, her number 1 punishment was the dog doesn't get to sleep with you on your assigned night. And for another girl, that was punishment number 10. So she evidently didn't love the dog as much. But and sometimes, like Rika mentioned, they got sent home in the middle of the game, either because it was bedtime. And there was some complaining, but to me, it seemed like the house parents were doing a good job of training and disciplining and showing love to these kids. And then, their goal is to get them back with the family if that's possible. If not, to get them to adulthood and to be obviously serving the Lord. They share the gospel with them. They pray with them. One story about prayer is that the kids wanted some chickens. And so they contacted a farmer, and he wanted a certain price per chicken. And they told the girls, pray about these chickens, and they couldn't afford that. And the farmer dropped the price, and they still couldn't afford that. And the kids are praying for chickens, and the farmer calls back and he says, God told me to just give you these chickens. And so he gave them a bunch of chickens. And so then the kids wanted goats. And so they's like, well, don't talk to me, talk to God. So they pray for goats, and somebody gave him a couple of goats that were valuable, like $150 goats, and God gave them to him for free. And so the director said, I told him, don't pray for pigs. We don't want any pigs. But, seriously, they do. It obviously is a ministry of love, but it's a spiritual ministry. And so, when you think of them, pray for protection. They get a lot of donations. God supplies. But I'm sure that there's times when they don't know where the money's coming from. So pray for them. Thank you, as everyone has said, for your support. Try to do these every couple of years. We got canceled in 2020. I wish that more of you could experience it. This one was very different, but it was God's plan. And so thank you for all of you that went with me and those of you that prayed for us. And maybe in a couple of years, we can take some more of you with us. So thank you very much.
So we're very thankful for the heart's desire that the Lord has put in Tim, and how he has taken on the task of planning the mission trip through the years. So, of course, we say here that once you sign up, you don't ever get out of that. So as he starts to plan for 2 years from now, as the Lord might lead, perhaps you see an interest in that, and perhaps it might be something to start praying about now, as the Lord might direct and lead your life in that area. I have not been able to work it out to be able to go on to a mission trip while I have been at this church. I've been on probably 2 or 3 mission trips in my life, and it's always an eye-opening experience because we just know what we know. We know the situation that we're in. And then we get out and we see different scenarios and different needs and different ways that the Lord is working in other people's lives. And so it's always a wonderful time to kind of broaden the scope of global missions, right? And so we just thank you so much for those who are willing to go out, take the Fayetteville name, and be willing to go out and have a wonderful testimony, as we've heard here tonight, towards specifically Joy Ranch in Virginia, and as we've gone out throughout the world to take the work and support them in their areas in their specific ways. So thank you, Tim. Thank you for those that went, and we'll see how the Lord leads moving forward. All right, let's close here tonight. Let's all stand and we're just going to sing. Let's sing the first 2 verses. We've got Jesus Saves up here to close with here tonight. Jesus Saves. We have heard